Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Eddie Christian on the line. He's Vice President of Client Services over at Satrix Solutions. Eddie, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Adam. I appreciate it.
All right, man. So I'm excited to get into today's topic. So we're going to talk a little bit about Satrix Solutions, but I do want to focus also on your journey because it's slightly unique. So let's go into your background and how you got started in your business and in your career.
Yeah, definitely. So, it is kind of unique in a sense, but definitely thousands of other people who have similar journeys. But I started off playing professional baseball. I played 9 years for the Florida Marlins, Seattle Mariners, and Anaheim Angels organizations. And after that, when they tell you to go home, you have to think about what your next trick is going to be. And so I was able to quickly and successfully transition into a sales career. And so worked my way up, learning the proper way to sell, and worked my way up to sales leadership. And then had an opportunity to get involved as a chief of staff for a politician in Oakland for a short term. So got my feet wet on that as well. And then transitioned even more over to the customer success environment where I'm currently at right now.
And so, there's a lot of people, and what I love about your background is, and we all have this, whether it's professional sports, well, we don't all have that. We were not all professional athletes, but I mean, we all have these changes. We all have these pivots, whatever you want to call them. So we started in one place, and then, in your case, it was time to, finish with baseball and move on to the business world. And for other people, it might be time for them to maybe finish one business that didn't work, or maybe a failed business if it's a startup, and maybe they're moving on to their next business or their next idea. What kind of advice would you give to some of those people listening right now that are going through maybe some changes or some challenging times, and they're looking at their next thing? Like, what kind of advice would you give them from your perspective?
Yeah, I would just, honestly, I would just say, you really have to tighten your chin strap, if you will, and rely on your work ethic. And that's what it was for me. When they took the uniform off my back, I made a commitment to myself and to my family that I wasn't going to let anybody outwork me when it came to this transition going into my second phase, if you will. And so that and becoming focused, you have to be almost a perfectionist or someone that's really maniacal about your craft, especially when you're trying to make that transition. So those would be the two top things that come to mind.
Man, I love that. And I would expect that from an athlete, like from somebody that made it to the professional ranks, like work ethic, and you got to be maniacal. Like, you got to be in there. You're in the trenches. You got to work on that craft every day, and you got to take it like a craft. So I feel like sometimes, and especially I love that you start off in sales, because I find that, sometimes there may be some salespeople out there right now that are looking at what they're doing as maybe it's just a job, or maybe they're thinking about what's next, or they don't know exactly if it's for them. Can you talk a little bit about that idea of working at something like a craft? Because I think you have a unique take on it, and not everybody sees that.
Yeah, it really boils down to learning from people that have more experience than you, especially when you're starting off. I've been blessed to have some great mentors in each phase of my career along the way that really have taken me under their wing and just showed me how to do it. And it cut down shortened the learning curve, if you will, and allowed me to learn how to do it, like I'll say, like the big boys do at a real young age. So I was able to perfect that in a number of different business disciplines, and, it's been working out so far.
So now you're in a role, and you're working in, obviously been in sales for a long time too, and now you're VP of Client Services. Where do you find, and again, not picking on anybody or not and not trying to be negative, but I do want to highlight some of those things, because I don't think everybody listening sometimes catches it when we just talk about the good. It's like, do this, do this, do that. What do you find are some of the pitfalls or some of the challenges that you see when you're coaching people, or you've worked with people in the past in these environments, that you're like, they're just missing it? Maybe if they could change up a couple of things that, this would put them further down that path. What do you think are some of those common, just pitfalls that catch people, whether they're entrepreneurs, salespeople, or otherwise?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think, and this is a little bit different way to answer this, but I think the level of care from the generation before has a big determination how successful people are going to be. I take pride in mentoring people. I work with a lot of, young and up-and-coming talent in the business environment and also in the sports world to try to just give them insights and shortcuts so that, they don't have to go through the pain and, some of the items that I had to go through. So just that initial care from the generation before of actually taking somebody under their wing and trying to help them out as best they can. I think, that's the thing that's missing that I would hope that, the people that are in the positions to help would do for their next upcoming generation.
And so you've kind of touched on this indirectly with a couple of your answers, and it sounds like mentors have played a big part in your life. What do you think makes a good mentor kind of mentee relationship? Because I know you've had that like at different points in your life in different ways, and I know there's some people listening that want to be mentors, and there's some people listening that are being mentored as we speak, and I kind of want to give a feel of what you feel a good that relationship looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, being a mentor and a really effective mentor really begins with being able to put yourself in that person's shoes that you're trying to give advice to or actually trying to help them. And I know, the people that have worked with me in the past have done just that. They've walked the walk, they've proven to be successful, and now they're trying to give that information, or they were trying to give that information to me. And so I was really appreciative of it. And, it was just them actually caring about it and being able to relate to where I was at in my stage of life and in my business career as well. So that's really the secret sauce to that.
That's awesome. So let's spend some time on Satrix Solutions and what you're doing over there. So first off, tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Yeah, so it's a customer experience employee engagement consulting firm. And basically what we do is we solicit and we analyze feedback at different stages along a customer journey. So organizations like sales, marketing, and even customer success use our information and our recommendations to help, improve processes that they might have internally and also improve products that are, that the end users are using. So, we go full soup to nuts with every organization or pretty much every organization within a company and provide feedback. And so that's the crux of what we do.
What are the right types of, because there's a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives listening right now, and they're always looking for solutions and ways to improve their experience and their businesses. What are the right types of clients and or industries and or niches that are typically a good fit for Satrix Solutions?
Well, we're across the board, but what really is important is that we link up with organizations that value the voice and the feedback of their customers. And not only that, it's really important that that they're accustomed and comfortable with putting together action plans with that feedback. It's great to have all these surveys and all these listening posts where you're gathering information, but if it's not used to drive improvements on a disciplined and routine type of cadence, then it's just going to be information. So, we can work with just about any company and any industry.
Wait a minute, Eddie, so you're saying the organization has to do the work too?
Absolutely. I wish along with they could just give it to us and just say forget it and go get them. But get to know their business intimately to the point to where we can make recommendations in most cases, and it's up to them internally to really drive that and make organizational changes.
Oh man, that's awesome. I love it. So that being said, so Eddie, if somebody is listening to this and they want to learn more and, connect with you and your brand and just what you're doing and follow your work, and also if somebody wants to learn more about Satrix Solutions, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, for Satrix Solutions, definitely hit our website up at satrixsolutions.com. And for me personally, you can follow me on any of the social media channels. Twitter is at Eddie Christian, or you can visit my webpage at eddiechristian.com.
Fantastic. Well, Eddie, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your journey in business and also about all the great work that you're doing over at Satrix Solutions. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Business, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the video. Love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Eddie, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thanks again for having me. Appreciate it.